and welcome back. Last time, we learned that Shion and Mion are indeed two completely separate people, and that, maybe Shion's been manipulating the situation the entire time. So let's continue and see what happens. The next day. It was a strange day, where Mion was desperate to regain her composure. Every time our eyes met, she would say that she had something to do, or that she had to use the washroom and run off. Unable to just watch, Rena was taking care of her the entire time.
Mion-san, she's acting totally strange today.
I know the whole story, but it's hard to explain. There are times when girls are emotionally unstable. It's best to just leave her alone. Huh? Turning around, I saw Rena calling me from the hallway. I wondered what it was.
Keiichi-kun, over here, over here!
What is it calling me over like this? Is it a secret?
It looks like it was a disaster.
Yeah.
Mion-chan seemed pretty broken, but I somehow got her working again.
I'm surprised you managed it. How did you do it exactly?
Same way I do with the television. I just come at it from 45-degree angle and hee-yah!
Saying that, she made a chopping motion. You know, I can't tell if you're joking or not, right?
She'll be fine by tomorrow. Also, there's something I wanted you to do, Keiichi-kun.
I didn't meant? Is that really? It's mean. I didn't mean to do anything wrong, but I still felt guilty. I'm listening.
Thanks. You see, Mi-chan is just going to pretend the last few days never happened.
Never happened? Huh. I see. Well, that's one way to run from it.
So, you see, Keiichi-kun, could you pretend too? Then Mi-chan can go back to normal.
Just doing something as simple as that? Is that really going to be okay?
Please, until Mi-chan gets her feelings in order, just go with it.
Okay, I got it. Even though I shouldn't have been at fault, for some reason I felt guilty. The one at fault here was the one who knew about the entire situation and pretended to be Mion for an entire day. Shion. But she never once said that she was Mion. What am I supposed to be angry at? Seeing me stomping the ground impatiently, Rena giggled.
But, Keiichi-kun, you knew as well that Mi-chan has some cute things about her?
Rena talked in a calm voice as her hair rustled in the wind. Yeah, I know that she'll never let it be boring.
Good.
Following this curt reply, Rena looked up at the sky and stretched.
As long as you realize that, Keiichi-kun, these past few days will soon be nothing more than a story to laugh about.
Copying Rena, I also began to stretch as I looked at the sky. The clear sky towered into the distance.
There's no club activities or anything today. I'm sorry, Keiichi-kun, but just for today, can you go home by yourself? It'll be all back to normal by tomorrow, so just for today, okay?
If all it took for everything to go back to normal was to leave Mion alone for the day, then that was an easy decision to make. Got it. I can't say it directly to Mion, so I'll say it to you. I still kind of feel guilty about it, so I want to apologize.
No. The root of the problem was Keiichi-kun saying something insensitive, right? So if you learned anything from this, you need to look a bit into gaining some sense of delicacy.
Right. I'll try. That day was the shortest day of my life. Rena was talking to Mion while accompanying her around the entire time. It looked like a really fun conversation, so I had reflexively thought about joining in, but I had made a promise not to. It seemed that Mion was also trying her best to ignore me, so likewise I did my best to ignore her. For the first time in a while, I ate lunch alone. Mion and Rena ate theirs by themselves, and as I let out a sigh in my ashen mood, Rika-chan came over and patted me on the head. Both Keiichi and me learned a whole lot. I'd never say it like that, but it made it sound like we were having a romantic problems. I didn't like that one bit. Hopefully the teacher wouldn't notice and call us... Hopefully the teacher wouldn't notice and call us to the staff room after school or something. I'm sure that Keiichi will grow up to be a wonderful adult. Pat, pat. Rika-chan is the studious type, so maybe you'll grow up to be an amazingly wonderful adult. Of course. When I grow up, I'll be super amazing.
When I grow up, I'll be an amazing lady, you know.
No matter how old you get, you'll still be a brat. You can put money on that.
What did you say?
As Satoko snapped her fingers, a wash bin fell from above, hitting me squarely in the head. What, she got magic powers now?
Ow! What do you think you're doing, Satoko?
Bang, smash, pinch, squeeze. It was the day I could thoroughly appreciate the value of having friends. That was a really quick first chapter. Or, well, first section. Does that mean the second section's gonna be overly long? Probably. I assume this is the next day. Today was Saturday, so school ended in the blink of an eye. It felt really good to go home with the sun so high in the sky. On any other day, our club would have been up to mischief during our ample after-school time, but today Rika-chan had rehearsal for tomorrow's Watanagashi to go to. How is that going, Rika-chan? Do you have it down in practice? I'll try harder than last year.
You were so exhausted and sweaty after last year's ceremony.
She'll look far more fit for the role this year. Please look forward to the fruits of her training.
The Watanagashi festival everyone had been talking about was tomorrow, wasn't it? The festival being in June felt a little early to me, but the onset of summer came quickly this year, so it fit into the image of a summer festival pretty well. Okay, we'll be off then. Look forward to tomorrow. Good day to you all. Satoko and Rika-chan waved to us energetically, then left. You know, I never asked, where is the festival happening anyway? I don't remember there being anywhere around here that seems suited for hosting one.
They do it at the Furude Shrine. We went there for a walk one day, remember? It was that place with a really good view?
Oh, right. I remember. There was a shrine all the way up on that hill, wasn't there? It seemed far too grand for Hamanazawa. There's a great
meeting hall in the shrine, too. The older people get together there and sing karaoke or practice calligraphy from time to time. It's more like a recreational facility than a simple shrine.
I see. I guess that makes sense, as it looks too grand then.
Mi-chan, is your family going to help set up today? Yep, we have male hands for that. Most of our relatives come from town to help.
Male hands, huh? Well, I mean, I have nothing to do at home today, so... Would it be a problem if I squirmed my way in there to help out too?
Huh? You want to help us, Kei-chan?
Not if it'll bother you at all. I was just kind of interested. We had bond dances and other festivals in town I used to live in, but I didn't even know where they took place, much less wanted to help. You could say that I had absolutely no connection to the region. Having come to Hamanazawa, though, it really made me feel like this place was a home that I had returned to. I'm screwing up all the words today. Before I knew it, I harbored a little interest in the small community activity for... Wow, okay. I'm gonna cycle back a bit. I harbored a little interest in the small community activity of preparing for a festival that day before. I feel like these sentences are a bit weird.
I wonder if you'll be able to, Keiichi-kun. There's a lot of building tents and setting up chairs. I hear it's pretty hard physical labor.
I mean, I wouldn't be doing it alone, right? The more hands we have, the faster it'll go. Mion looked happy to hear it, but at the same time her expression was complex, tinged with hesitation. Rena gave her the last push for me.
It's decided then. You should go for it, Keiichi-kun. He's all yours, Mi-chan. Put him through the ringer.
Well, I can't argue with a recommendation from Rena. Okay then, go home first, put on some work clothes, and come to the shrine. Oh, and you might want to bring a towel to wipe your sweat, too. Got it. I may look scrawny, but I actually quite like breaking a sweat under the hot sun.
Careful you don't hurt your back, okay? Right in...
Nope, that's Mion. Careful you don't hurt your back, okay? Right enough of my old man spiel. I'll go to the shrine too as soon as I've changed.
Mi-chan, do your best too! Bye-bye!
Mion waved vigorously to us and left. As far as I could tell from her gallant, retreating figure, she seemed to have recovered from the weak state she had yesterday.
Girls are quick to get over things. Mi-chan is already fine.
Right. Her switching back to normal so cleanly really makes it easy for me to talk to her.
It was kind of funny though, wasn't it? Kind of like Cinderella. Like, you can't meet her anymore once the magic wears off?
Rena began to giggle for a fair bit in amusement. Did she like this sort of thing? Incidentally, me going along with it gave me a weird, hard to describe feeling. Did I turn myself into a plaything? Or did they do it for me? If you think it's so funny, then you should try pretending to be a different Rena too.
Yeah, sounds like fun! Keiichi-kun, what kind of Rena would you want me to be?
One with a bust size of at least 90. Huge knockers that you're okay with me touching. Wow. Just getting that right out there, Keiichi. Alright.
I can't do that!
She'd be great at cooking and make me lunch and come see me in the mornings.
I do that already.
I pull Rena's head into a tight grip and start to pet it. You're Rena Ryugu, right? Rena, not Reina. So, you just stay as Rena forever, got it?
Thanks! Have fun helping set up the festival!
You got it. Let's meet up tomorrow. I'm confused at where this conversation went. Okay. I got changed right away, and, slinging a towel around my neck like Mion suggested, I set off for the shrine. At the shrine, there were more people than you'd imagine even live in Hamanazawa there, all coordinating off areas and setting up tent frameworks, chatting amongst themselves as they did so. Alright, where's Mion? The liveliness of the throng didn't make it easy to look for her. I searched around as if I already worked there, and suddenly the principal called out to me.
If it doesn't keep Mahabara-kun interesting. Have you come to help with the Watanagashi setup?
Hello. Yeah, I was just wondering if there was anything I could help with.
How commendable your attitude is. Feel free to sweat to your heart's content.
Spurred on by the principal, I came upon a group of people setting up tents.
Oh, what's this? It's Mahabara-chan. did you come all this way to help us?
I hadn't found Mion yet, but I suppose I'd just get in her way if I ran into her. Yeah, I'm here to help. Just tell me where you need me.
You young ones have all the vitality. Here, grab some work gloves. Ever built a tent before?
No, never. Delighted in teaching a new skill to someone younger, plenty of people happily taught me all sorts of things.
Okay, kid. Go inside the tent and tie up just the cords for the top. After that, we'll stand it up and tie the rest of them.
Butterfly knots are okay, right? There and there?
All done? We're standing it up. 1, 2, 3.
What was once nothing more than a collapsed tent was raised on 4 splendid legs before my eyes in mere moments. Whoa. Seeing it put together like this is actually pretty moving.
Come on, no time to stare and wonder. We got a lot more to do. I don't know why I'm suddenly British, but whatever.
We packed the tents into the truck, so get them from there. They're heavy, so take someone with you.
Nah, I'm good. I may look scrawny, but I'm actually pretty strong.
Whoa!
They looked light enough, so I thought they were, but they're heavy.
That's why I told you to have someone help. Come on,
said the man, lifting it up with a grunt and taking it away under his arm. Either I'm weak or these old guys have superhuman strength.
Let's go. You're the youngest one here, so we are going to make you sweat for it. Do your best. Beer after work is the best. Beer after work is the best.
I'm a minor? Sweat dripped from my body. I had been fully and completely absorbed in helping them. I would never have thought the cold barley tea from the Women's Society could taste this delicious.
You're so young. Make sure you drink a lot.
Thank you. It was then that I realized a crowd had formed near the shrine a ways off. When I took a closer look, I saw a girl dressed in a shrine maiden garb and a handful of old men looking like they were preparing for a ceremony together. Is that Rika-chan? Hey, Rika-chan! Do your best! Do you best! Do you best. I think that's supposed to be your. I shouted and it seemed like she heard me. Rika-chan, positively exploding with vitality, answered with a smile. The older guys with me watched Rika-chan as well with distant gazes.
Rika-chan is doing a great job.
She seems far more used to this than she did last year.
The old lady who gave me the tea clasped what looked like a prayer beads in her hands and said, "Rika-sama, we thank you, we thank you." And just like that, began to respectively pray to her. Huh? I just remembered that they called it the Frude Shrine. Wasn't Rika-chan's full name Rika Frude? Frude? Or Frude? I don't know. The man standing next to me answered my question.
That's right. Rika-chama's Frude clan is ancient and honorable, and has worshipped Oshiro-sama for generations.
Huh? I always gotten the feeling that she wasn't quite your average person, but it turned out she was from an esteemed family?
After her father, who was a shrine priest, died the year before last, she's really been doing her best to learn the rituals. I wish the priest could have been here to see how wonderfully she's grown up.
What? Rika-chan's father passed away?
Okay, break time's over. Let's get the chairs we're not using back to the gym in Okanamiya. Miku-san, pull the truck around here and take a few people with you.
Alright, my Baracoon, let's get to work on one last job.
Ugh. You're gonna make me do more work? I can't tell if they know I'm a minor or not, but the older men all cheer me on, encouraging me to do my best, and that the beer will be great.
Keiichi, working hard, I see.
I passed by Mion. She was carrying a big cardboard box, and it looked like she was right in the middle of working as well. Judging by the sweat seeping onto her shirt, it seemed like I wasn't the only one with his hands full. Yeah, I'm working my ass off. You work hard too. The beer's gonna be great. We were worked to the bone until the sun began to set and it started cooling off. It was soon full-fledged night, and the clear sound of the Higurashi eased the moderate pain I felt. The older guys began their night before drinking party in a tent a far bit off, causing quite a ruckus. The shrine grounds, on the other hand, had turned into a lonely road, tickled by the cool evening breeze, despite being so festive just a little while ago. The wind felt good. I leaned on one of the stone guardian dogs at the front of the shrine. I gave my legs a good stretch as I let my mind wander, and suddenly, a paper cup filled with barley tea was thrust before me. Keiichi, great work! Here's some tea for you. You're so considerate. Thanks, me. Her voice sounded exactly the same, but it felt somehow different. Wait, you're...
Heya, it's Shion. Don't go giving Mion all the credit. She isn't considerate at all. Don't get us confused, okay?
Shion, you little... Now that I've caught you, you're not getting away.
It was your mistake, Keiichi. I've never said I was anyone other than Shion.
Ugh, I guess I can't argue with that.
That's right. You're no match for my older sister, so I can't let you be a match for me either. Anyway, your tea. It's going to get warm.
Ugh.
Come on, please cheer up. I'm trying to make it up to you with this tea.
Well, she did come all the way here to give it to me. I guess I'll accept it. I took the cup and downed it in one gulp. And then suddenly, ah! I heard a loud shout and got it stuck in my throat. Which one is this time? Is this the real Mion? Shion! Why are you hanging out with Keiichi again?
Because unlike you, I'm very considerate. Keiichi was so sweaty, I couldn't leave him alone, so I brought him some tea. By the way, why are you holding 2 cups of tea?
Mion's face went bright red as she tried to hide the paper cups behind her back. Well, that is...
There's no way you, such a rough, timid, good sister of mine, would ever briskly bring a male classmate tea, is there? So what are they? What are those 2 cups of tea?
These are, well, right. I was so thirsty, I figured I'd drink 2.
That is so like you. Come on, chug chug.
As Shion cheered at her, Mion downed both the cups of tea one after the other.
What a fabulous drink that was. I expected nothing less from you. Keiichi, you give her a hand too.
Wait, suddenly this situation has gotten unbelievable. Mion doesn't usually get manipulated so easily like that. I've known her for a while now, but Shion is terrifying. Mion, you can't hold your own against Shion? I hate her, and lately I hate her even more. Just then I heard the snap of a camera shutter. Oh god. How'd I do T-Dog again?
Good evening! The festival is coming up tomorrow. Thanks for all your hard work setting up today. I didn't even have a voice for her.
Good evening. Oh, Shion-chan? It's quite unusual for you to come here. Oh, hey, it's Tomotaki and Takono-san. Good evening. It's been a while, hasn't it?
So, you're that transfer student I've been hearing about. Keiichi Mahabara-kun, right? You really did a bang-up job today. I'm impressed.
I feel like I've seen this photographer guy before. Have we met before?
I'm glad you remembered. We passed many times on the road, Keiichi-kun. I'm Tomotake. I'm a freelancing photographer from Tokyo. I don't know why I wanted to say Kyoto there, but Tokyo is the right word.
Then do you recognize me? I'm sorry, but I don't.
She's Mio Takano-san. Do you remember when you were at the doctor's office when you still had a cold, Kei-chan? Mio-san is one of the nurses who works there.
Call me Takano? I'm pleased to meet you. I wonder if she squeezed over them like in the shrine storeroom. Wait. I'm confused by that sentence structure. Call me Takano, I'm pleased to meet you. I wonder if she squeezed... Okay, that's very thoughtful of you. Tomotake-san seemed to be quite entertained at the Sonozaki twins being in the same place, and he took a picture after picture.
I've heard about them, but this is the first time I've actually seen a pair of identical twins. You really do look exactly alike.
We're not just alike on the outside. See, our underwear matches too. Ah! You idiot! What the heck are you doing?
Things have never been as lively as when the two of them are together. I thought they were exactly the same at first, but I've started to get the handle on which is which. Mion is Mion, and Shion, well, she seems a far better actor than Mion was. In the first place, somebody that could spurn Mion so easily wouldn't have shown much weakness to those lard buckets at Angel Mort. If that was the case, then that cowardly behavior from that day was all completely an act. They were even more alike when they were little. I hear even her parents had a hard time telling which was which. That's really easy to imagine. I totally understand what they must have gone through. Takano gave me a kind of odd look, but explaining would have been a pain, so I didn't bother.
Tomotaki, are you going straight back to Tokyo after you get their pictures of the festival?
Yep, though I would rather just stay here forever. Silly adult things, that's all.
I hope your photos win a fabulous prize soon. I've been praying for it.
Thanks! Next time I come, I'll bring the pictures I took of you all today.
Mahabara-kun, do you work, you did a lot of work today? You must be tired from all the physical labor you're not used to. Huh? Well, I'm tired, but it was still pretty fun. Youth, I'm so jealous. Takano-san smiled with an adult elegance that no one in my circle of friends possessed. The wind caught her hair. She gives off an intelligent beauty.
Oh, why hello everyone.
It seemed like our merry crowd was standing out this time, and an overweight older man addressed us. And again, it was someone I thought I knew. If I recall correctly, he's a policeman, isn't he? Oh, hi Iwashi-san. Good evening. Doing a preliminary security inspection for tomorrow?
Something like that. Oh, if it isn't Tomotake-san. It's certainly been a while.
I'm honored you remember my name.
You really do love Hamanazawa, don't you? The apartments around here are far cheaper than the ones in Tokyo. You should just move here and get it over with. Or know a realtor that I can introduce you to.
I'd appreciate the thought, but I'd very much like to follow up on that.
Alright, everyone. Have a good year. And Happy New Year to the Sonozuki twins, too.
Happy New Year, Detective Uwashi. We appreciate your work. We'd like to end this year's festival with the least amount of inconvenience possible.
That's pretty strict on me.
Detective Iwashi left us with a low laugh and headed off to talk to some police officers standing a ways away. I gave Mion a glance and saw her making an annoyed face as if she was glaring bullets at someone she hated. Yeah, it'd be nice if the police didn't have anything to do during Watanagashi this year.
You like this place too, don't you?
Oh, you mean to say you dislike it? Jiro-san? I quite enjoyed such fantastic stories, you know. Especially with the times being so dry and uninteresting.
The curse of Oshiro-sama, you mean?
Curse Toмотaki-san used was a troubling word. Then, suddenly, someone tugged on my arm. Keiichi, I'm pretty hungry. Want to go to the tent with the drinks and have some candy and sweets? Huh, I'm up for that. I've gotten a little hungry as well, and I kind of feel like conveniently avoiding the whole curse story thing. Okay, let's go. A moment later, Shion said something to Takano and Toмотaki that stung my ears and gave me a start. I wonder who will die and who will disappear this year. I pulled back from Mion's grip and stopped abruptly. Shion, what did she just say? I felt like the air around us dried out all of a sudden. Let's go, Keiichi. They're talking about something silly anyway. You still haven't told Keiichi. I make it a point not to spread stories like that. Shion's cold and quiet tone and Mion's harsh voice were quite the contrast. Hey, wait, hold on, what are you talking about? If you know something, then tell me. It doesn't feel right to be the only one left out, you know. I don't understand this. Someone explain it to me. However, Mion didn't seem to be all that willing to grant my request. She squeezed my hand into hers a bit, and when she realized I would hold my ground on this topic, she let go. I'm gonna go to the drinking tent first, then. If you don't come soon, Keiichi, there won't be any left for you. I get it already. I'll be there soon. Mion left, trotting towards a particularly noisy tent on the other side of the shrine grounds. Before she got there, she stopped and turned back around. I showed no signs of going after her, though, so she ran off.
I could tell you if you haven't heard, I suppose. But it might be smarter not to ask and go with her to eat dessert.
Hey now, you've already gotten my full attention here. I'm not going to leave without asking this point. I think Keiichi has the right to hear this too. My sister was just stealing that from you. Shion's voice was bristling with thorns, as if somehow blaming Mion. What on earth are you talking about? I don't really like people acting so self-important. Takano-san, realizing how prepared I was, looked across the group. After confirming that there were no objections, she opened her mouth. Do you believe in curses, Manabara-kun? Curses? I think they're interesting, but I don't really. I felt their cynical stares and winced. It was like they were telling me it was stranger not to believe in curses. You're not wrong, Keiichi. Curses are just superstition. It's only natural that you wouldn't believe in them. Uh-huh. Besides, you can't take all the time you need to decide whether to believe in curses after you've heard us, though. Wait. Besides, you can take all the time you need to decide whether to believe in curses after you've heard us through, said Takano-san, giving a little smile. They're trying to scare me. At least, that's what it feels like. Alright, I'll start. Keiichi-kun, do you know about the Hamanezawa Dam project? Oh yeah, the other day at Angel Mort, Mion, rather, told me about it. You mean the plan for the giant dam that would flood all of Hamanezawa, right? That's right! Residents of the town banded together to fight it, and a fierce battle with the government unfolded. I've heard that, too. The entire village united using all the power at their disposal, mass media, political influence, and other things, and fought the country. The way Mion described it made it sound like a boast. Oh, you know quite a bit about it. Yes, you're right. It's practically an epic tale. Just as 1,000 or so villagers banded together and rejected the government's plan. Did you hear this from my sister? She likes those kind of epics, you know. Yeah, she told me. There was, however, an office for Hamanezawa residents' opposition faction. It was this shrine. You know, the assembly hall? That's where it used to be. Now, the whole thing is over, and the senior citizens just use it for group activities. At the time, though, it was their bastion. Last bastion. Takano-san explained this, pointing a finger towards the assembly hall. I had been carrying things in and out of there all day. I mean, I would understand if they put an office like that in the mayor's house or something. But having an office on shrine grounds made it feel kind of like a base camp for Shengoku period warriors. That was basically the mindset, though. Placing the main force in the shrine dedicated to Oshiro-sama, Hamanezawa's guardian deity was like a prayer for victory. Oshiro-sama. That was definitely it. They mentioned Oshiro-sama's curse before. Is this the same Oshiro-sama? Do you know about Oshiro-sama, Keiichi-kun? It's the name of the god worshipped at the shrine. It's said that he protects all of Hamanezawa. Well, I don't really know much about him. I see. I think Takano-san knows more about the rest. Tag, you're it. Well, that is generally the whole story. Oshiro-sama is the ancient god passed down from Hamanezawa, and the villagers say he has been protecting the sanctuary from the poisons of the outside world. So essentially, he's a basic standard guardian deity. I guess you could find that sort of god anywhere you go. There's research into whether worshipping Oshiro-sama is a manifestation of some kind of elitism, too. What I mean is that the worshippers might think of themselves as the chosen people? Believing yourself chosen is a nationalistic belief that you're a part of a superior race, or that you're a special clan chosen by the gods. They believe that they're a superior clan, so they believe strongly in cooperating with others, but they also ended up being exclusionary towards other clans. I won't go into too much detail, but it's the sort of national and religious ideas that lead to war. This is all Takano-san talking. Of course, that goes for Japan, too. A long time ago, the people of Hamanezawa strongly believed themselves different from humans, that they were above them. They believed that the interaction with the lower world would sully their souls. So, everyone believed that if one from the lower world came into the village, they would be sullied and suffer the wrath of Oshiro-sama. Apparently, that kept everyone away. Villages that hate outsiders come up all the time in Kendachi novels. This was once a run-of-the-mill village of xenophobes. Well, they'll deny it to preserve their pride. It was all a long time, after all.
Things are different now.
Shion followed up quickly, having sensed the thorns in Tomotaki-san's words. Tomotaki-san, embarrassed at what he said, scratched his head. So the shrine worships Oshiro-sama, thinks of Hamnezawa as holy ground, and it's a symbol of their traditional hatred of the outside world. I get it. So that's why they chose the shrine of Hamnezawa's guardian spirit as their base of operations to resist the sullied dam construction project that came from the outside. Correct. Correct, smiled Takano-san, pleased. She must dislike stupid people. Superstition, every last bit of it. The villagers gave everything, desperate to oppose the dam construction. And right in the midst of it, I don't know who's talking. Superstition, every last bit of it. The villagers gave everything desperate to oppose the dam construction. And right in the midst of it, the incident drove home the finishing blow. Oshiro-sama's curse. The person managing the construction site of the Hamnezawa Dam was murdered. 4 years ago, I believe. It took the newspapers by storm. Do you remember it? No, not really. He had a fight with a subordinate and was beaten to death with a pickaxe. His limbs and head were torn off and the remains disposed of. One of those dismemberment homicides. They were all the rage at one point. Really? Okay, I didn't know styles of murder were like a fashion choice. It went through phases. Such a gruesome incident, but it was just an incident. A person caused the incident after all. Should they really be put down to a curse? Then, the following year, the man who had organized the Hamnezawa's group of the dam proponents, he fell from a cliff while on vacation and died. Apparently, it was an accident. Of course, most of Hamnezawa was hostile towards him. The police were all over the case as if it were a homicide, but, in the end, it was judged to have just been an accident. Now it's an accident. This is the most curse-like one, but it's still far-fetched. And then, on the next year, this time, the priest of the shrine contracted an unknown illness and suddenly died.
This may sound a little rude, but the old priest was kind of a wait-and-see type. The whole village was in an uproar about the dam, but he just kind of didn't seem to want to bother.
The shrine was a symbol of the opposition movement, and its priest, well, his attitude worked against him. The villagers at the time had hoped for a leader, but their hopes were betrayed. Some of the people apparently got pretty angry too.
So at the time, all the older people were like, "This is Oshiro-sama's curse." That's what they said.
It did seem like every year, dam-related people in the village had resentment towards... dam-related people the village had resentment towards were dying. It was pretty creepy.
Oh, and also, it's interesting, all of these incidents and accidents always happened on the night of the Watanagashi festival.
What? See? Starting to sound like a curse now, isn't it? Then, the year after that, in other words, last year, the sister-in-law of the man who was the leader of the dam proponents, the one who accidentally died, was discovered dead, having been beaten to death. Of course, they caught that criminal. See? See, it really seems like a curse, huh? 4 years in a row? Each one of the incidents and accidents were relatively commonplace, but every single one of them happening on the night of the festival worshipping Oshiro-sama. That's not normal.
The old folks had been blindly accepting Oshiro-sama's curse because of the incidents these past few years. Even younger people, too. At first they thought it was stupid, but now nobody makes fun of it.
Yeah, I can see where she's coming from. Even me, even if I didn't think there was a curse at all, thinking about all the incidents like this makes me feel like maybe it was real.
For example, just look at the preparations for the festival you were doing today. Everything might have gone crazy during the battle against the dam, but just a few years ago, the Watanagashi festival was never this well attended. Well, I guess you're right.
Oh, wait. That was probably Tomotaki talking. Alright, now it's Shion talking.
Well, I guess you're right. If we didn't have Oshiro-sama to talk about, we wouldn't all be coming to a festival like this, huh? There's a lot of people who say that infidels might be punished, so they really need to go to Oshiro-sama's festival.
Shion nodded as if she were mocking herself. So, how about now? Keiichi-kun, you're starting to get the feeling of that maybe, just maybe, the curse is real, aren't you? I mean, you can't just laugh off people related to the dam construction project all dying like that. Even if I feel like this now, then more superstitious members of the village might feel stronger than that. Well, I mean, I still don't think there's a curse. I can understand that those that believe there is, though.
Wow, Kei-chan, you really keep a cool head about this.
Shion grinned, realizing I rejected the curse. If it's neither a curse nor a coincidence, then what should we make of these incidents? Takano-san said, smiling playfully as if posing a riddle. Neither a curse nor a coincidence, but every year someone dies. What should we make of that, then? Tomotaki-san, catching on to the fact that I had no idea what to make of it, opened his mouth and came to my aid. Takano-san is suggesting that it might be the work of real people. Huh? Simple process of elimination would have gotten me there. I was a little taken aback at not having realized the answer immediately. Well, think about it. If it's neither a curse nor a coincidence, then the people must be willingly carrying this out. It's the only explanation, right? Pressed Takano-san. I smiled bitterly in spite of myself. Here I was just a few minutes ago thinking the very concept of the curse was absolutely absurd. When she suggested it was someone's doing, I ended up thinking there wasn't any way it could be a person. But Takano-san was right. It was either a curse or it was a person's doing. If unrealistic things like curses didn't exist, then the obvious next step would be to start thinking it was people behind it. But if that was the case, I glanced at Shion.
If the person...
I can't tell if this is Shion or Keiichi. I'm going to go with Shion.
If the culprit is a person, then they'd have to be someone from Hamanazawa. That's what the police officer Owashi-san thinks right now, too.
Hey, wait. That can't be. I thought I now knew the reason Mion didn't want to talk about this. If Oshiro-sama's curse really existed, then that's fine. It would be divine judgment for the dam project business. However, if Oshiro-sama's curse didn't exist, which it obviously didn't, then the culprit would most likely be someone from Hamanazawa. The villagers had worked desperately to oppose the dam construction project. I knew they had used all sorts of methods to fight against it. If one of those methods was, maybe...
People whisper that Oshiro-sama's curse could be the doing of a secret group in the dam resistance movement.
Shion dryly put the words to my exact thoughts. Of course I didn't expect it. She was from Hamanazawa, so I didn't think she'd come out and say it herself.
If you calm down and think about it, anyone would come to the same conclusion. There wouldn't be a motive for anyone but the people who benefit from opposing the dam project, right?
I guess that's true. Admitting to the existence of a darker side of the dam conflict would be rude to Mion, who spoke of it so highly. So I couldn't just accept Shion's seemingly logical viewpoint.
One more thing. The police probably don't know this. There's proof that someone from Hamanazawa committed these crimes,
and the people of Hamanazawa know it. What? Shion rebukes me to keep my voice down. Sorry, but this proof, what is it? It's the fact that not one person dies, and one more person disappears. One more person disappears? Did that mean that somebody besides the one who died from the curse was a sacrifice? What do you mean by disappear? They just vanish and you never see them again? That's right. Suddenly and without a trace. As she spoke, Shion pretended to do a trick with her hands, like she were making a magician's hat disappear. One dies a mysterious death, and one disappears never to be seen again. A strange vanishing act. But then why? How does that equate to someone from Hamanazawa being the culprit? Well, actually, Hamanazawa has one really old legend. It's like about how people offer sacrifices to Oshiro-sama to calm his wrath. Sacrifices? Yes. They say that they used to wrap a living person up in bamboo mat and let them slowly sink down into a bottomless swamp. Takano-san, though explaining something pretty terrible, has the look of glee on her face as she did so. As far as I can glean from the literature, it actually took 3 days and 3 nights for them to sink. See, even people a long time ago like symbolism. As the body sunk, Oshiro-sama's anger would be quelled. Both were submerged into the deep. Takano-san was the only one laughing at this. Was she telling a joke or something? Shion didn't move to deny it, but I felt a difference in temperatures between her cool expression and Takano's. This whole conversation, well, I think you can imagine after hearing it, but it's the secret history of Hamanazawa. Everyone who has been in Hamanazawa for a long time knows it, but they don't talk about it.
Takano-san's not from here, but she knows quite a lot. She really likes local history, folk legends, stuff like that. She learned about it all by herself, too.
I'm really not, all that amazing. Just curious, that's all. Like a child. I just want to see scary things for the fun of it. Tomitaki-san laughed, a little embarrassed. Wait a minute. What does that mean? The other person who disappears during the incidents? You're saying they're offered as sacrifice? Yeah? Shion answered... Yeah. Shion answers in one word before anyone else can speak. Someone dies, then someone disappears.
Well, whether they actually get sacrificed or not is a different issue. But every time something happened in the past, one person died and one other person disappeared. For example, the first one, where the dam site manager was killed, apparently one of the people responsible for that still hasn't been arrested.
Couldn't that just mean that they managed to get away? I don't see why we should treat him as a sacrifice.
Well, that's basically what I think too. There was also the year after that, when the leader of the dam proponents...
You said he fell from a cliff and died while on vacation, right? Well, apparently his wife fell as well. The police investigated fervently, but they were never able to find the wife's corpse.
The river under the cliff was actually pretty high at the time, though. She could have been buried under the sand at the bottom of some lake downstream or something.
The perpetrator of the dam dismemberment like that wouldn't want to get caught, so they'd be desperate to run away and hide too. I thought I'd heard about cases where the corpse wouldn't surface after a person drowned in a swelled river like that. She vanished because of an unfortunate accident, but I still don't see the connection to sacrifices. If you took each of the past incidents in turn, none of the disappearances invoked that terrifying of an image. The year after that, with the priest suddenly falling ill and dying, is much clearer. His wife left a suicide note,
They found it in their house the night of the priest died. It said something along the lines of her quelling Oshiro-sama's wrath through her death.
The curse. It seems to turn up in this one, though.
Well, we may never know the truth of the matter. The swamp the wife drowned herself in was the giant bottomless one Takano mentioned before. The police investigated it, but all they could find were several of her possessions. They never found a corpse. The police suspect it was a fake suicide, and they're still investigating it now.
Someone dies every year, and in the same way, someone goes missing every year. Is she trying to tell me that everyone who vanished was kidnapped by some extremely efficient means and dumped into the bottomless swamps still alive and drowned to death? But a curse? That's unbelievable in its own right. And the next year, what was it? The damn proponent's sister-in-law. She was killed. And the same way, someone disappeared. It was a boy around my age named Satoshi Hujo. He's the nephew by marriage of the woman killed. Shion cut in with a slightly strong tone of voice. She knew the boy who had disappeared pretty well. At least, that's the vibe I was getting. Well, that about sums everything up. One person always dies, and one person always suddenly disappears. Leaving the suddenness aside, the fact that each incident involved one person disappearing. So that means the first person who dies is because of Oshiro-sama's curse, and the second person who vanishes is because the villagers sacrificed them? Is that it?
Kei-chan, there is no curse. Somebody kills the first person under the guise of the curse, and someone takes away the second person to be a sacrifice.
But Shion, that means the criminal is in the village.
That's what I've been guessing from the start. It's pretty shocking though, you know. We live in the Showa period. It's kind of hard to believe people are committing murder like it's nothing, using some ancient justifications, huh?
It didn't have anything to do with our decision, but I got the feeling that maybe Shion didn't like Hamunazawa very much. Mion enjoyed talking about Hamunazawa and its epic tales. She had also avoided talking about Oshiro-sama's curse, which didn't paint Hamunazawa in a good light no matter how you looked at it. She was trying not to give me a bad impression of the village, so she didn't say anything. Shion, on the other hand, was somehow different. She wasn't rejecting the concept of a curse to purge Hamunazawa of its bad impression, but rather because she strongly believed that a member of the village was the criminal behind this. Her conviction seemed a bit removed from the tight sense of community held by the people of Hamunazawa. Once upon a time, they looked so alike you could mistake one for the other. But talking to her now, I was getting the powerful feeling that Shion had a completely different personality than Mion. Then everyone else, they all think someone from Hamunazawa did it, right? Neither Shion or Takano-san answered that. The deafening silence told me all that I needed to be said. Then, let me ask another question. If someone from Hamunazawa is the culprit, then who is it? Neither Shion nor Takano-san had a reply to that question either. Though it may have been rude to ask, I had hoped they would have one. The reason I asked was to argue that their explanation that the culprit was from Hamunazawa was nothing more than one possibility. Shion caught on to my plan. She gave me a pained smile at my petty spite and opened her mouth to speak.
All I said really just amounts to circumstantial evidence anyway. If any of us knew who it really was, we'd have gotten them to the police hands already.
As would anybody. Then what about Takano-san? She too smiled dryly as Shion had opened her own mouth. Well, I'd like to clear one thing up. I'm not quite a detective or anything, alright? In all honesty, I'm not really interested in who the culprit is. Takano-san, you sure are a handful. Tomitaki-san gave a bitter laugh at her surprising opinion on the matter. You see, I just like the cruel and atrocious ancient traditions and fairy tales. I only enjoy them from a curious onlooker's perspective. So even for this string of incidents, it's not so much finding out who the culprit is, but enjoying thinking about how the old traditions displayed by the incidents themselves still seem to have some pretty deep roots around here. Though she described herself as nothing more than a curious onlooker, her smile was as sharp as the tip of a blade. Women like her felt very strange and a little scary to me. Maybe it's just that I was in fearful awe of the person whose emotions I couldn't comprehend.
Well, I don't think any of this is interesting at all. The Watanagashi festival is coming up tomorrow, but I don't want anyone to die or disappear.
Tomorrow, huh? That's right. It had completely slipped my mind. The string of murder incidents people attributed to Ashura-sama's curse wasn't over. If last year's incident wasn't the end, then tomorrow night at the festival, would someone die? And would someone disappear? I do wonder who will die tomorrow and who will disappear, though. Takano-san said, running a comb through her hair with elegant movements, with a thin smile and a voice that nearly made me shudder. She almost looked like she was enjoying the thought of the incidents that could happen tomorrow. Then, out of the blue, we heard a loud round of applause. They seemed to be ending the drinking party early. Right, I was making Mion wait the whole time, wasn't I? I should get back to her soon. You're teasing the kid too much, Takano-san. Now, Keiichi-kun, thanks all it's true. It's all true. I apologize. It's a bad habit of mine. Again, said Takano-san, sticking out her tongue bashfully. The strangeness in her expression was nowhere near to be found. When Takano-san sees an innocent child like you, she can't help but wanting to poke fun at them. It's a real bad habit. Keiichi-kun, you listened to everything so earnestly that she ended up getting carried away. Unlike Takano-san, Tomitaki-san seemed like a pretty normal person with common sense. They were apologizing after realizing what kind of impression they'd given me. The stuff Takano-san said is all fiction. If it made you harbor any bad impressions about Hamanazawa, then we apologize for that. Jeez, Jiro-san. You apologize too, Takano-san. Tell him you're sorry for scaring him. Takano-san and Tomitaki-san were arguing and messing around now. The strained air around us had already dissipated.
Kei-chan, you should get going soon, too. Mion is the jealous type. If she sees me, she'll probably start a fight, so I'll just be going home.
Really? Then I'll go see what Mion's doing and apologize for making her wait, I guess. Sorry for being such a nuisance, Keiichi-kun. Could you tell Mion-chan we're sorry for bothering you for so long? Yeah, I don't think telling her will make her feel any better, but sure. Tomitaki-san and Takano-san, standing next to each other, both began to chuckle.
Okay then, Kei-chan. Let's try to run into each other at tomorrow's festival.
We'll see each other tomorrow? I mean, it's us we're talking about after all. We'll be making so much trouble it'll be hard for you not to find us. Shiona and I said our goodbyes to Tomitaki-san and Takano-san. Before we could leave, Takano-san called out to us. Thanks for listening so earnestly to what I had to say. You're just so good at listening, and I had a great time talking to you. Good at listening? No, not at all. I was just in a state of perpetual bewilderment from all the shocking topics being thrown at me one after another. Did you like my story today? Well, it was pretty interesting. Then I'll tell you some more sometime, okay? There's a lot of pretty interesting legends and fairy tales about Hamanazawa. Of course, a lot of the strange and creepy ones, too. I'll choose a bunch of my favorites and tell you about them. I was kind of happy, but kind of worried. I can't help but smile dryly and scratch at my head. Keiichi-kun! You should get going now. Takano-san is messing with you. They say goodbye and again run off. I hear Tomotaki-san call out behind him in a clear voice that we would see each other at the festival tomorrow. When I went to the tent, Mion was waiting for me in... she was nowhere to be found. I made her wait so long, maybe she got mad and went home. After asking some adults passing by, I heard that she went home, talking to some relatives. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But my regret for having made Mion wait wasn't enough to triumph over the impression Takano-san and Shion's uncanny story left on me. Serial murder incidents that happened 4 years in a row. Would tomorrow's event make the 5th? But the possibility that someone from Hamanazawa was carrying this all out under the guise of a curse. The queer tradition of ritual sacrifice entirely unbecoming of the Showa period we lived in. I regretted it a little, though it was too late. If none of those creepy stories had anything to do with me, then I shouldn't have let Mion pull me away from the crowd. I felt a little ashamed about letting my cheap curiosity get the better of me. Oh, that's a lot. And thus the beginning of the end starts. Because last time, shit went down after he heard this exact same story. So stuff might not be too happy-go-lucky for much longer. But we got a lot of tips to go through, so. From the Scrapbook 1. Oshiro-sama's curse. The ancient Ogonafuchi village, the anger of Oshiro-sama, his curse, was feared above all. However, it's seldom stated whether what eventually happens and what sort of divine judgment, curse, befalls them when Oshiro-sama is angry. From various reports, all hell will break loose, demons will come flooding out, the miasma from hell will flood outward and kill every villager, letting not a single one escape. The ones invoking images of the village being annihilated stand out the most. These terrifying ideas of divine punishment are in alignment with many other religious beliefs regarding the apocalypse, hell, and it is easy to imagine that they are just ways of convincing people to obey the teachings in order to prevent such an end. The conditions for inciting Oshiro-sama's wrath are likely the same as the taboos in Onigafuchi village. I believe that when an act is performed that violates one of these taboos, Oshiro-sama was termed angry. And in order to quell his anger, they would perform the aforementioned sacrificial ritual. The human sacrifice ritual. The sacrificial ritual was a simple drowning involving plunging sacrifices into Onigafuchi swamp, which was considered hallowed. Of the rituals of Onigafuchi village, this one was unique in that the sacrifice would sink slowly over the long course of 3 days and 3 nights. I believe that it wasn't so much the killing of this sacrifice that was important, but rather the symbolism of them sinking as the submerging of Oshiro-sama's anger. For that purpose, they must have had a passion for learning various methods for keeping the sacrifice from sinking too quickly to force them to sink more slowly. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell from the records, these methods were not recorded. My thoughts are how they may have used logs or some similar material to create a raft, then set up a scaffold on there, hung the sacrifice up with ropes, and let them sink little by little over time into the swamp. However, if that were the case, it would not be strange if the ritual implements used for such a ceremony were honored as holy and enshrined somewhere. Interesting. Implements used for the ritual tools utilized for ancient religious ceremonies are completely referred to as implements, or ritual implements, and even now some of them are enshrined on the property of the Furude Shrine and the three families. However, the identifiable tools are all decorative, and none appear to have been used in rituals governing the dark side of Onagafuchi village. As the Edo era came to a close and many traditional rituals were they lost as well? Or perhaps buried in the darkness? I don't believe so. Both the implements used on the night of the feast of Onikakushi, and those used during the sacrificial ceremony must still exist, enshrined away from the eyes of the masses. Without a doubt, they exist here, today, at this very moment in Hamanazawa. Also, I'm nearly certain where they've been enshrined. What was once locked steadfastly has, for some reason, changed this year into a cheap-looking padlock. He may be able to do something about such lock. However, it is not far from the assembly hall, nor is it ever far from the presence of people. However, I will not give up. The night when it becomes a blind spot to every villager in Hamanazawa is coming soon. Soon it will be Watanagashi. Okay. At first it seemed just like a report, but these are definitely written by someone. Maybe Takano-san? Rumble. Hey, are you worn out already? Tomorrow's the real thing. We're gonna be partying until morning, until the very end of it all, alright? End of it all, got it? Got it. I'll give it everything I've got. Alright then, youth is the greatest. Good work, everyone. Tomorrow is Watanagashi at last. Let's get some shut-eye and save our energy for tomorrow night. Tomorrow was finally Watanagashi. Festivals are split into two groups, those who enjoy them and those who support them. The former only needs to prepare their minds, but the latter needs not only that, but also painstakingly crafted plans and preliminary arrangements. While the general majority attendance goes about enjoying the festival without a care in the world, we'll be strained the whole way through. Why? You sure as hell know why. Because the beer after everything's over is the best damn beer you'll ever have. At times like these, it's best to have an energetic, physically fit people. It wouldn't be worth it if you didn't do your best until the end, enjoying the whole way. Okay, he's here. Uwashi-san came in. Everybody hurried to stand up.
Hello, everyone. Excellent work out there. You can be at ease.
Thank you, sir. Not even my seniors, who usually talk big about themselves, can hold a candle to Owashi-san. We all bow as if we were the ones cheering squads of old. Karudo Owashi, a detective just waiting to retire, one who doesn't pay much mind to rules and regulations, and doesn't do too much in the way of real work. He looks like a rotten old man with a penchant for dirty jokes. My seniors, though, tell me he's a real fighter in his younger days, and that he may or may not have quite a heroic legend trailing behind him. Anyway, he surely had much more dignity and presence in the room than the station chief who came in with him.
Everyone, I really thank you for your hard work on the preparations for tomorrow's festival.
Everyone present stands upright and lends their ears to the chief's directions.
We're on heavy alert for any thrill-seeking criminals expecting another incident like last year. I need all of you to focus your energy as much as possible on your mission to prevent any crimes from happening.
Yes, sir!
Of course, it would be best if nothing happened. However, everyone, please assume that the incident will, in fact, occur. Prevention is number one, but probably won't be enough. This year, too, someone will die and someone will disappear. There really is no doubt about it.
Everyone, apart from the section chief, smiled painfully.
Awashi-san, that won't do. We need to be more serious about this. The important part isn't to get past the night of the festival. It'll be able to quickly and swiftly and aggressively pursue whatever does happen tomorrow night. I won't tolerate anything less than your best. Clench those cheeks. We're gonna rip the skin off the guest of Ashira-sama's cast.
Yeah! Alright, so technically, not much happened in this episode, especially if you watched Onikakushi. We learned about the curse, we learned about the killings and the disappearances that happen every Watanagashi. And guess what? This time, Keiichi learned about it again. The interesting part is that it seems that Shion doesn't believe in it. Doesn't think it's real. Doesn't, definitely probably thinks that it's an actual person doing the murders. Which might mean that the same thing might happen as last time, where maybe Mion and Rena do the whole psycho thing again, but Shion's on your side to help you fight it, maybe? Or maybe she's not? I'm unsure at this point. But, and a very important thing she said did come up is that Satoshi came up again. I'm surprised Keiichi didn't make the connection right there with Satoshi and Satoko being related because of the last name. But she said that she made the specific point that Satoshi was lost and that she and him were either friends or close or something. But something happened there. There was something going on with them and Shion, maybe. So it'll be interesting to figure out how Shion relates to Satoshi, who may have been demoned away last year. And it's also interesting to kind of figure out that Shion is not so much as into Hamanazawa as Mion seems to be. It seems that Mion is definitely trying to cover for Hamanazawa and be like, no, it's fine, it's cool. And as we found out in the last one, Mion is, maybe definitely on the town side in that one. But Shion, it's unsure. She could be on Keiichi's side, and maybe if shit starts going down, might actually help him. Even though she's kind of a manipulative bitch to Mion. But we also know that Mion is attempted murderer in the last one. So I don't know. I don't know how it'll turn out. It's interesting though, and it's throwing a twist. It seems like it's Onikakushi again, but with another person, another party, a twist, a slightly different angle on the whole situation. Because it basically went down the same way, where T-Dog-san and Takano-san both explained the entire thing again, except they explained it the night before Watanagashi and not on Watanagashi. And this is the first time Keiichi's really hearing about any of this dark shit. Where in the last one he kind of got vague hints and was curious about it the entire time. This is the first time he's heard about it. And I could still see Keiichi being put under the target crosshairs for the whole demon away murder thing. I'm interested, but I definitely expect, if not the next episode, then the episode after that it will be the stuff going down. Because next episode is definitely going to be the Watanagashi Festival. But if it goes the same as Okanikushi, they kind of dick around at the festival, and it's kind of a fun episode. We'll see if that's the same, or if it'll change. Will it be a more serious night at the festival now that Keiichi knows everything going into it? He knows that there will be a murder tonight. He knows that something is going to happen. But, he has the information that something's going to happen tonight. So he won't just be blindly having fun like he did last time. There will always be this niggling thing in the back of his head. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. I kind of wanted a little more of the this episode in particular, I kind of wanted a little more of maybe getting back on the Mion good side a bit. Because the first half was Mion wasn't talking to him at the school, and Rena's like, just give it a day and she'll be fine. Just pretend it didn't happen and, you'll work it out. And then you do the working thing and you're not even working with Mion all day. And then the chance you get to go with Mion, Keiichi doesn't take it and stays and listens to the murder story. And I feel that the rest of the events, even though I have no idea what's going to happen, I feel that the rest of the events of this story probably wouldn't happen if Keiichi had just gone with Mion. That's the feeling I get, and we'll see if that comes to pass. That's my prediction. That none of this shit will happen. It would have happened if Keiichi just went with Mion and didn't listen to the story. So yeah. So that's my thoughts, that's my predictions, that's my discussion. I've been sitting on this screen for far too long. We'll see you all next time for the Watanagashi Festival. And whatever happens there. See you all next time.